feeling exhausted, tired all the time, not seeing your family, not seeing your kids, not seeing your wife. These are the typical things that I found myself, that I was burnt out all the time, and I found myself not being able to enjoy life. I was making money, but not enjoying life. You know, I stood up at a members mastermind, members day, and I said to, the entire group, and I said, I don't need more money, I need more life. And I'm pretty sure my buddy Derek Timmons from Airdrie leaned over to the person beside him and said, this guy's crazy. I don't know what he's talking about. They must have some good weed in Ontario. That being said, me and Derek, we talk all the time about business. And, I want to see my kids grow up. I want to spend time with them. Like, there's no point in having money if you can't enjoy your life. 2017, 2018, 2019, I think we've all experienced it. 2019, I had the best year of my career. However, I got to the end of the year and I was like, I felt burnt out. I didn't want to answer my phone. I wasn't sleeping, wasn't eating properly. I was working 7 days a week, 16 hours a day. At that point, there's no life fulfillment. I'm looking at my phone, don't want to answer it, don't want to reply to texts. And the funny thing is, I said, okay, I got to make a change. And it is possible to change, because I can tell you, if I did it, any of you guys can do it. But you have to change your habits. And by changing your habits, I mean you must have a schedule. Having a schedule does not need, I'm going to share my schedule with you, and the orange, blues, and greens, they're going to run. They're going to run away, and I'm going to see all these screens go black. But my schedule does not have to be your schedule. When you were in whatever job you were, retail, corporate, you had a schedule. And when you had a schedule, you had to be there on time because you were being paid by somebody else. Or you ran your own business, you still had to be there on time. So why is it any different for realtors? Why can't we have schedules? Why can't we have days off? Now, on the screen, you're going to see my schedule. Now, again, this does not have to be anybody's schedule. I wake up at 5:30 every morning, and many of the members here are part of our Peloton group. I get on my Peloton. I love that thing. My wife bought it during the pandemic, and it kept my mind going in the right place. That's my time prior to the day starting. Now, I'm not going to go through my whole schedule, but however, at the end of the day, I make time for different things that's important to me. But in the mornings, I have my most energy. So after I'm off my Peloton, shower, change, spend time with the kids, I take my kids to school every day, I go to the office. I'm in the office by about 8:30 every day. And then after that, it's prospecting time. Every business needs lead generation, and that's when I do it. I have a stand-up desk at work, and my voice projects more in the morning. As the afternoon goes on, I start to dissipate, so that's when I do my admin. That's when me and my operations manager, we discuss things that need to be discussed, or we do stuff about CMAs and get ready for appointments. Now, if you see, I have a break for lunch. You need time away, whether that's reading a book, eating, you need time away. It can't be work all day, no breaks, okay? Now, 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, I come from the corporate world, so structure is very, very important to me, and I'm a high gold, as many of you, maybe by my schedule, can see. From 4 to 6 o'clock, sometime in that day, I will go home. If I don't have any appointments, I'm going to go home and spend time with my kids. I'm able to do this because I've streamlined my business and put systems in place. Now again, your schedule doesn't have to look like my schedule, but you do need to change your schedule around your life. If you want days off, if you want nights off, your clients will understand, but you need to be able to do it first. And that was where I struggled. I couldn't do that. I didn't know I had to be available all the time. Now I tell my clients, I'm not available this day, but I am available this day, and I decide. So if I don't have appointments, I'm going home between 6 and 8, spend time with my kids, eat dinner, spend time with my wife, and after the kids go to bed, me and my wife are spending time, and she watches The Real Housewives of pretty much everything. So we watch that together, and occasionally, I'll do some work provided I don't have any appointments. But right now, I'm taking 2 days off a week, 1 day off on the weekend, and I'm like, wow, this is what it's like to have a weekend. Now, for all the people who are like orange, blue, green, who aren't gold, if you can get to 5 people, let's say make 5 calls in the morning, let's say before lunch, can you guys do that? I think you can. I think everybody in this room and on these screens can. That will help you to get more leads and keep you refreshed. And if you can do it in the morning or the first part of your day, you'll be laughing. Now, part of me putting systems in place was to hire an administrative assistant who's now my operations manager. And for whatever I'm going to do, whether I'm going to meet with a buyer, whether I'm going to meet with a seller, we have packages all set to go. A pre-listing package, we have a seller checklist that my operations manager goes, a buyer checklist. She books all the appointments for me and handles all the paperwork. And to be truth be told, I don't even like doing that stuff. So at the end of the day, I like the customer-facing stuff and helping clients and talking to clients. So for me, it's like I get to give away that stuff and take the new stuff on, and the stuff that I actually like doing and customer-facing stuff. But part of that is letting go. An agent once told me that I got to let go. 4 years ago, he said, if you want to make the higher ranks at RE/MAX, which is where I work, you've got to let go of, stop doing the $15 an hour jobs. Now, there's nothing wrong with those jobs, but however, we make a lot of money in this industry, and you got to calculate what your hourly rate is. And I decided my hourly rate is not going to be dealing with lock boxes, putting up signs. I still see so many of my colleagues pounding in their own signs. When my signs are being delivered, I'm sitting at home with my kids. Even with my videos, I show up. I show up for 15, 20 minutes. Everything else is taken care of. My ops manager, the more I hand off to her, the more my business has flourished. I can't tell you, like I'm having the best year I've ever had, most transactions I've ever done, and I've let go the most. You know, at the end of 2019, my buddy Darren German, we were on a call at the Masters Academy, and he said to me, you've got to let go. And I have OCD control issues, and any of the high goals probably have the same thing. He's like, you need to let your assistant and your operations manager own it. Will there be times that things go wrong? Absolutely. But it's their job to own it, make it more efficient, and handle. You have to let go, get the listing and hand off. And that's what I've been doing. And ever since I've been doing that, I'm a happier person, spending more time with my wife, spending more time with my kids. Now, like, you know, I literally show up for 15 minutes to do a video, and then that's it. Everything gets loaded the next day. She's a gem. You know, the other thing that we all need to do is time block. My coach asked me, if you have an appointment with a client, would you cancel it for another appointment? My words were no. And she said, then why do you do that with your family? And for years, Nancy has been telling me, and she's here somewhere, she's been telling me, well, how many days off on the weekend are you taking? How many days off? And I just didn't feel I could. And now I have no problem saying I can't show you on Saturday, I can't show you Sunday, because I have some family stuff to do. The happiest moment this year for me was taking my son to his soccer game every week, every Wednesday. It was happier than any deal I've done this year. And my kids see it. And my kids are getting older, and in this business and this, like, we have the grind culture. You know, I'm the first one to point, you know, to post, you know, people that say hustle and grind, but at the end of the day, grinding is great at the beginning of your career. Once you build, you don't have to grind anymore. You have to decide what's enough money, because in this business, you have an unlimited amount of money that you can make. But nobody ever said on their deathbed that I wish I worked more. They said, I wish I traveled more. I wish I spent more time with my family. I wish I enjoyed life more. And that's where I'm at right now. And it's because of people like Darren and Nancy and the RI membership. You know, it's invaluable to people that are here and the conversations that happen offline. They've all put me in a great mindset to win. And I'm having the best year, and I can't thank everybody enough, and all my friends in this business. You have to make a choice to choose wisely. You have to choose. You can have it, but you have to choose to want to do it. Remember, building structure in business, it's not a solo business. Whether that means assistants, team buyers, agents, referring business out, whatever it takes to get your time back, that's what you need to do. Thank you.
Great job, Nirsh. Way to go, my man. Have a seat there. Okay, show them a little love back here, everybody. Come on, you gotta remember that they're not professionals here. All these presenters, look at this going on. All these presenters, they're doing this. I'm not paying them, number one. A lot of people.
Tom Story told me he's getting paid.
Oh, he did? Well, he's lying to you then. So if he's getting paid, you tell Tom to give you what I pay him, and it'll be nothing. We're not paying them. They're giving away their ideas. They're giving away what's in their heart, and they're not professional presenters. So every time, like Meg and Nirsh and all of these people do these presentations, I am so thankful to them because, let's face it, they have all the intelligence. They've all got these ideas. They've evolved, and I believe it's best coming from the people that have done it, right? So I'm just so appreciative of you being here. And we've been trying to get you up here for how long?
At least a couple of years.
A couple years. Like we keep saying, Nirsh, you got to do a presentation. Well, I don't know. So anyway, we guilted him into it. Maybe I should offer to pay you before. Hey? Okay.
It's not about the money.
It's not about the money. That's right. Okay, so you'd have said a few things that I think are really, really important that we need to capitalize on the thought. One, you talked about prospecting in the morning, exercising in the morning, and one of our teachings forever has been do appointments with yourself in the morning and appointments with others in the afternoon, right?
Absolutely.
And what he said was, because he said it, his energy is higher. So appointment with yourself is exercise. It might be reading, it might be prayer, it might be meditation, and whatever, right? Whatever you choose to do to get yourself ready in the morning. And then, of course, you talk about generating leads, making calls, making the triple play. That stuff should all be done by noon with the objective of getting an appointment.
Absolutely.
And the main reason is because your energy, and that's what I wanted to get on, your energy is higher in the morning than it is in the afternoon.
Absolutely, and I have a standing desk to make sure that my energy doesn't go down.
I think that's a great idea. So that was one big takeaway. The other thing, you said read, and I thought that was interesting because I heard something a couple years ago. Somebody said, why is it that we can't stop during the day while we're working and take 30 minutes to read? Somebody said that. And I remember it was a light went on for me because reading for me was always at night or, when I wasn't working. And I thought, why the hell can't I? Like, why can't I time block 30 minutes a day, to listen to a podcast, to read, or do whatever you want to do to work on this, to get you motivated and get you excited. So I thought that was really interesting, too.
At a point in my schedule, I was coming in the morning. I would go sit and read right after talking to my operations manager. I'd go read for half an hour. Then I would start prospecting.
Yeah, which is brilliant. I love that idea. Okay, so we got a couple questions. Sure. What are some of the tasks you offload to your assistant?
I think the bigger question is, what are the tasks I don't offload to my assistant operations manager? Sadia, she's actually newly licensed and she's here. She got licensed this week, basically. She takes care of coordinating my painting. So in Toronto, I take care of everything for a client. I try to be a one-stop solution.
Right.
So we take care of staging, painting, cleaning. So she organizes all of that.
Right. So really, I would say let's do it the other way. It's probably the better way to answer it. What should Nirsh be doing every day? He should be prospecting and doing lead generation.
Absolutely.
Right? Nirsh should be doing any face-to-face appointments with buyers, with sellers. Nirsh should be showing property. Nirsh should be doing listing presentations and negotiating offers. That's
Absolutely.
what Nirsh should do.
And that's what I love to do.
Right. And if you spend 80% of your time there and offload anything else, you're doing it right.
100%.
Okay? So there it is. How did you decide? This is a really good question. How did you decide to let go? Because I think it's a very difficult thing for people.
Honestly, that conversation with Darren, he could see that I was very stressed. And we were in a breakout room, and he's like, if you want to call, we can talk after.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was telling him, I never see my wife, I never see my kids, I'm making money, but it doesn't matter to me. Because you get to a point where it's more money, is it going to make you happier?
Right.
In this business, what are you going to do? You're going to go Remax, has Diamond and Pinnacle. Nobody cares at some point. You don't need that money.
Yeah.
So to me, it was, I want to have a relationship with my wife and I want to have a relationship with my kid, because I said, if I don't, I won't have a family. And what's the point of making money if you don't have a family and you don't have somebody to enjoy it with? So it was really the point of, I wanted my relationship with my family to continue and to get better. And my kids, you know, are 9.5 and 6, almost 7, and they're getting into an age where they're fun, and I can, you know, interact with them, and I can go spend time with them and go out with them, you know, individually or together. And it just, I wanted that for my life, and I wanted to enjoy my life, and is really because I wanted my family I wanted to love my family and spend time with them, which they deserve.
And isn't that why we do what we do?
100%.
Like, that's a crazy thing. If you really think about it, and I'm not trying to pretend I was perfect, because I did it too. Back in my 20s, right? My early 30s, man, I was grinding like anybody else. So I'm not trying to sit up and say, oh, you should be more like me. No, I'm 60 now. I've learned a lot of lessons. I make a lot of mistakes. But here's what I have found. I found sometimes, unfortunately, until the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the pain of changing, we don't change, right? So what sometimes happens to us all is we deal with pain, right? And then all of a sudden the pain becomes so great, you're willing to deal with that pain of changing. And the pain of changing could be taking on the responsibility of a salary of somebody else, hiring somebody else. I totally get that that's very difficult for many people to do. However, I would ask you this. I call you all real estate sales professionals, right? Because that's the way I see it. I think our coaching members are professionals. They're real estate sales professionals, right? That's the way I look at it. Now, if you're a professional salesperson, just like a professional lawyer, professional accountant, right? Wouldn't you have an assistant, a doctor? We can go on and on.
Absolutely. You know, at the end of the day, you can't do everything yourself.
Right.
Like, you just can't. Like, there's not enough hours in the day, and to have an assistant allows me, so realistically, like, you have an assistant, you could be having more conversations that could be bringing in more business that's going to pay for your assistant.
Right.
Right? So, and that's another actually referral source. My assistant is, you know, she's my ops manager, and she's going to be a licensed agent, but she's a referral source.
Yeah.
So bringing somebody else with a database that's not mine is perfect. But, like, you know, I get to have other conversations because I'm not having conversations about when the video is for my listing.
Right. And an assistant, if you do it properly, like, an assistant should not be a cost, it should be an investment.
Absolutely.
Right? An assistant should make you money. Like, there's no question. Why on earth in a business, why would you pay for marketing if it's not going to make you money? Why would you hire people if it's not going to make you money? That's the whole idea of it in business. Everything you do in business should be an investment, right? I look at our whole team. Like, they're investments. They're not costs.
Absolutely.
Right? They grow the business. They make it better. So last question here. How long did it take for time blocking to become a solid habit?
You know, time blocking was fairly easy for me because I'm a high gold. And I came from the corporate world. So blocking that time in the morning to cold call, or warm call in my case now, was pretty easy. Like, you know, a couple months in, that's what I was doing, because when I got into this business, I had left my job, and I made a deal with my wife, which, you know, she might be watching. I made a deal with my wife that I was leaving my job, and I was making good money. Yeah. And she said, if you don't make the same amount of money, which it was close to 6 figures, right, you have to go back to your job. Right. And then we had a newborn baby, and I didn't want to go back to my job. Right. So for me, it's like, okay, what do I got to do? What habits do I got to have to do that? Right. And so, like, very early on, like, I would say a month or two, I had time blocked that to prospect. Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, the determining factor in our success is what do we do with every minute of every day? Right? At the end of the day.
Exactly.
Right? You say, well, what's the difference between the good and the great? Well, the good do what the great do sometimes. The great do what the great do all the time. It's consistency, right? You know, they don't prospect once a week. They do it every day. Exactly. There's not a top agent that I know, and we work with a lot of big producers, teams. They all got lead generating systems. Like, they all do, because otherwise there's no way they could be doing the business they're doing, right? Exactly. So it's interesting. Man, I want to thank you for being here today.
First off, though, I'd like to thank the Richard Robbins organization, Sue, Dana, yourself. This is the first time I've ever had the opportunity to do this, and never in my wildest dreams when I got into this that I thought I would be up here on stage, and it's because of you guys and getting my life in order and enjoying life. And, you know, the tagline, it's a beautiful life. Yeah. You know, it's because of you guys. So I just think everybody should appreciate this organization and what it stands for, because it's not like any other organization that's real estate coaching. They believe in having a balanced life, and that's where I'm at now, and it's because of you guys, and I'd like to thank you.
Thanks, man.